If you feel like you cannot understand why this feels so terribly bad, why are we as grievers left to figure this out on our own? It's not fair. It is absolutely not fair that we are grievers, are as grievers, are left to figure this grief out on our own. And that's exactly what happened to me. Austin drowns at the lake. I go to see Erica. I tell her that we have found his little body and that he has drowned. And immediately I realize I don't know anything about grief. I don't know anything about grief or a broken heart. I don't know how to help my sister with this grieving experience. I don't know what the next move is. I don't know what we're going to do next. But here's the one thing that I did know, and I was absolutely wrong. I knew that she was broken, and I knew that it was going to be my job to fix her. And that was wrong. I'm here to tell you guys that that was absolutely wrong. But it was through that experience that I have learned so much. And that's what I bring you today. If you are grieving and wondering if you're doing this right, this live is for you. Grief pushes us to the limits that we never thought we would get to before. And just when we think we're getting when we're getting a breather, sometimes for a lot of us, we go even deeper. And most days, it feels like you're barely getting by and that you're not going to make it out the other side alive. And the whole time that you feel like you're dying in this experience, everybody has gone back to living their life. They've gone back to living their life. They've gone back to doing the things that they do every day. They're going to work. They're laughing at the family picnic. They're wearing bright colors. And you're wondering if you got left behind. Have I gotten left behind in this grief? But here's the truth. I know you're doing your best. And right now, your best is what you need right now. Whatever you consider that to be at the best, that's where you need to be right now. Stop sitting in judgment on your grief. You're doing the best you can with something that you were never taught how to do. You were never given the instructions on how to do this. I wasn't given the instructions. None of us were given the instructions. We're just sitting around over here trying to figure it out. No one prepared you for what happens after the funeral. I will tell you right now, you go to the funeral home and you pay this exorbitant amount to lay your person to rest, and they do not give you a trifold that says, oh, here you are. Okay, so the first day it's going to feel like this. Day 2 is going to feel like that. Here are the things you need to start doing in your grief. For many of us, I don't know about you guys, but for me, maybe it's just me. I thought I was going to get there. I thought there was going to be someone with the answers. Guess what? Suzanne says they never mentioned grief at all, and she just was sitting at a funeral home, bless her heart, last week. Guess what? I thought there was going to be someone with all the answers, and there wasn't. So I'm her. I'm her. I'm the woman that they have sent. And what an honor. I'm here to fill in the blanks for you. I want to talk about grief in every which way. We have to learn this on our own, my friends. They didn't give us the trifold. They're not giving us the book. So I wrote it myself. No one prepared you for what happens after the funeral, after the text messages stop coming, after everyone moves on, they go back to their life. You're still waking up in pain. And then what do? Here's some facts that you have to know. You are not broken. And even that day, I thought Erica was broken. You are not broken. You have to understand that. You're not broken. You are grieving. You are grieving. And even though it feels like you are broken, even though it feels like this is you, I promise you it's not. Make this so you guys can see it. Here's the other thing. I didn't feel like I was broken. I felt like she was broken. Like she was, and when I'm saying she, I'm talking about Erica, the mother of Austin. Like she was never going to come out of this. You're not broken. You are also not behind. Wherever you are, that's where we work from. If you figured out parts A, B, and C, that's where we work from. If you haven't done one thing, that's where we work from. For most of us, put a period at the end of that. For most of us, we freeze. We freeze. Once we come upon a grieving experience, we absolutely freeze. You're not broken. You are not behind. You are grieving. Grief is emotional. Grief takes place in your heart. Grief takes place in your body. Grief takes place in your brain. And I'm telling you, this thing plays some tricks on you. Hold on, let me adjust that. You are grieving. You are not broken. Most people only hear this one lie that everybody is telling, and it comes out in different forms. You're going to feel like this for the rest of your life. You're going to miss them for the rest of your life. And that is true. You will miss them for the rest of your life. You will reach for them because they were always there, and they will no longer be in that spot. They will no longer fill the void that you so deeply need. They're not going to be there to answer the questions. They're not going to be there to hold your hand. Your bed is empty. I know. I know. You don't see that smile anymore. You can't pick up the phone. I guess I got to do it the new way. You can't pick up the phone and call them. You will miss them. You will walk down the aisle without them. I'm not kidding. That's huge. You'll have things to tell them that you have no one will be listening. You'll have jokes to tell that no one else will get. You will have text messages that get unsent. You will miss them for the rest of your life. But missing them is different than grieving them. Missing them is different than grieving them. I'm talking to you, the ones in the back of the room. If you're listening to this and you're not actively grieving, stop telling people they're going to be like this for the rest of their life. That is the biggest pile of bullshit that I have ever heard. And we have got to stop saying that. We have poor souls that are stuck right here because they believe this. It is not true. It is a lie. Grief is a process that our entire body goes through. We were meant to pass through the grieving experience. Who would you be if your person was taken from you and you just went back to living your life? I feel like I've seen this in a movie. I was thinking about this last night, where they have movies where like, oh, Bob is no longer here, and they just go back to their life. That's not it. Bob gets taken from us and we fall to the ground and we cry because a piece of our heart leaves. A piece of our who we are leaves. It's gone. It goes with Bob. It goes with Mom. Dad took that part with him. I'm not that daughter anymore. The daughter, and I'm speaking from experience, the daughter that I was for Tony Honore, I'm not him. I'm not her. He took that. I'm the daughter of Larita. She's still here. But I'm also trying to figure out who that is right now with her new diagnosis. Grief changes you 100%. But healing is possible, and we have to get the word out. Guys, this is what I run up against. I run up against this day in and day out. And if I'm running up against it, I'm damn sure you are. Recently, I shared yesterday that my mom was diagnosed with dementia. And possible Lewy bodies dementia and Alzheimer's. I keep saying she has autism because I have you guys, I'm not making fun. I have a granddaughter that is on the autism spectrum, and that word is just stuck in my head. And I met with the hospice team, and they have been absolutely fabulous. I'm shaking my head because I can't believe it. Thank you. Thank you, Suzanne. And I met with a social worker, and her job is to see that the family is okay. And she said to me, you know you're going to be like this for the rest of your life. You know you're going to feel like this for the rest of your life. And I sort of pulled back. I was actually just talking to Erica about this yesterday. And I was like hell I will. Like, I'm not saying that I don't love my mom and I'm not going to grieve. I'm going to grieve. I'm grieving already. I'm already grieving. Every change in her life is a grieving experience for us. Every time she drops to a new normal, it is a grieving experience for us. We're already grieving. We are in the grieving process. But if she's a social worker and she's your first line of defense and she's the one that you're meeting, and I meet with the chaplain and he tells me the same thing, and I met with the nurse, the admin nurse, and they're telling me the same thing, and we trust them. There are people, they're the ones that were sent to us to help us, and they're telling us this lie. That's what I'm up against, you guys. You will be like this forever. You will be like this forever. Forever. It is a lie. It is a lie that we're told. It is a lie that they're selling us. It is a lie. And I'm telling you guys, you don't have to do this perfect, but you're going to have to do it. You do not have to do this perfect, but you are going to have to do it. Grief changes you, but healing is possible. So here I am, little old me, out here in the world, the big old wide world, saying something that most people haven't even heard. That most people, thank you, Suzanne, love you, that most people haven't even heard. Grief changes you, but healing is possible. You don't have to do it perfectly, but you're going to have to do it. So let's start with the truth. Let us start with the truth. I know you're doing the best you can. I know you get up every morning and it is like 51st dates. Hey, Miss Debbie, I know you're getting up and it's like 51st dates. You're like, I don't know. This is what it was like for me. It's like that. The reminder of what happened. Being reminded that you've got to do this all over again. Being reminded that you have to do this all over again. And most of us have to do it on our own. Most of us have to do it by ourselves. Again, I've got to walk into a world of pain and brokenness. Today, I got to walk into a world of brokenness. I don't know why. I honestly don't understand. Why wouldn't we want this message? Why wouldn't we want this message that this is a lie? Why wouldn't we want to know that there's a way out? Why don't we want to know that there's a way to the other side? Why would we rather stay in as a griever than figure out how to navigate this thing? I know this is hard to believe right now. I know this is hard to believe right now, especially when your body is exhausted. Your brain is foggy. Your heart feels like it's never going to beat the same again. And it's true, it won't. Instead of bum, 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 it's going bum, bum, and a pause because one of those beats is missing. Why don't we want to get back to some form of normal? Not that new normal, but normal. I'm here to remind you something maybe you've never heard. Maybe you've never heard it in a long time. Maybe you've never heard it. I see you. I know that you're doing the best you can in a situation that you were never prepared for. You were never prepared for this, and I have proof. What did I do? In third grade, you didn't receive this. In fourth grade, you didn't receive it. This is a How to Grieve That Shit book. And in chapter 6, it says, one day you will be ready. You'll be ready to start the hard work. One day you will be ready to go after the brokenness in your heart. One day you'll be able to ready to review your relationship with your person. You're going to see all the love that they taught you, all of the love in your heart that still remains for them, all of the love that is causing the pain. You're also going to see the areas that you didn't get to complete. You're going to see the areas where you didn't get to tell them how important they were to you. You're going to see the areas where you didn't get to tell them how you're longing for them. And you're going to do the much needed hard work. And I promise you, on the other side, you're going to come out feeling stronger, being able to breathe, and knowing that a major part of you is missing. And it will be forever missing. And you, my friend, will be forever changed. We should be teaching this in kindergarten. No shit. You didn't get this. I didn't get it either. And it's not my calendar. You did not get this book. I didn't get the book, and we were not told. But we were not told how to do it until now. But we have to understand that there's possibly another way. There is another way out to the other side. You were never prepared for this. Sorry. I got allergies. I walk in the morning and I can't walk today. It's 80% humidity. Like, what is that? And I'm so sad. And I just had that thought. Sorry. Here's the heart of what I'm trying to say. You're not failing at grief. You are not failing at your grief. You're not behind. Wherever you are, that's exactly where you're supposed to be. You are not behind. You are not broken beyond repair. I'm going to say that again. You're not broken beyond repair because you're not broken. You're grieving. You're doing the very best that you can. And that's more than enough. If all you did today was get out of bed and make that cup of coffee and sit at the window and look at the sunrise and allow tears to fall, do you know how amazing that is? You did what you were supposed to do today. You did what you were supposed to do today. You're doing the very best you can, and that is more than enough. Because here's what no one tells you before the loss came. Grief is something that you were born to do. You already knew how to do this grieving thing when you came. You already knew how to go through this process. We know for a fact, and I've seen it over and over again, we know that a child between the ages of 4 to 7 years old can figure out the grieving experience on their own. They mostly don't need to be told. If you see these little precious souls, they already know how to grieve. They know how to go through the process. They may need a little bit of guiding, but when you sit with them and you tell them one or two things, they really go after it. I've seen them go, I really miss Grandma. She said she was going to make me cookies. Remember what I just said? We talk about the things that our heart still needs to say. And I never got those cookies. I'm sad, but I'm not going to stop thinking about her. The children between the ages of 4 and 7 come to the kitchen table talking about Grandma day in and day out. They're sharing about Grandma. They cry naturally. They understand Grandma is gone if we tell them that. They understand Grandma's gone. They understand their heart is broken. I'm so sad. They cry. They talk about it over and over and over again. What do I often say that grievers need to do? We need to talk. We need to talk about what happened. They ask us questions about Grandma because they know their body needs to grieve. If we came here through the birth canal, and the minute we get here, we can blink our eyes without having to tell our eyes what to do. We can take a breath without telling our heart and lungs what to do. We can move our arms without telling them what to do. We are complete when we come here. Why would grieving not be one of the things that we automatically know how to do? We know how to feel sad. We know how to feel broken because our heart knows what to do. Our heart knows it needs to take a beat. It knows it needs to pump the blood. It also knows it needs how to grieve, but it knows it needs to grieve, and it knows that process. But over time, unfortunately, that process was taken from us. No one teaches you how to survive after someone you love dies. No one shows you what to do when you wake up and the world looks the same, but feels completely different. No one shows you what to do when you wake up the next day and you are in an alternate universe. Because I'm telling you right now, every single griever is walking in an alternate universe. They're walking in a world that they were never prepared for. We're walking, I'm going into work, everybody is bustling around me. And the only thought in my brain is, I'm never going to see her again. I can't imagine a future without her in it. Why is everybody laughing? Why is everybody living their life? And then you slow down for a second and you try to explain this grieving thing to the ones that are bustling around you. You expect them, as you're explaining it, to have the answers. You expect them to have the trifold that you never got at the funeral home. You expect them to know what you're supposed to do next. But that's not what they give you. They give you this. Girl, you in danger. You just need to carry on. You got this. You need to bounce back. That's what he would want from you. He would want you to bounce back. Why are you out here acting like this? You think he wants you to do this? If everybody we lean upon doesn't know the answer, if we go to them thinking they're going to know the answer, our church, our therapist, yeah, you heard me right, our church, our pastor, our pastor's wife, our therapist, our doctor, my girlfriend, my best friend, if we go to them thinking they're going to know the answer and they don't, we just start retreating back. We start pulling back. No one has taught you how to do this. So how the hell can you possibly be expected to know how to do it? And how can you be expected to know how to do it perfectly? I've never seen a perfect grieving experience, even for myself. I've never seen a perfect grieving experience, even for myself. Because every time we go down there, we're learning new things about ourselves. We're learning new things about how to get this done, how to get this grief done, how to work this grieving thing. We learn new things about ourselves. So this is where I want to begin. I want to begin with you allowing and giving yourself some grief. Grief. You already got the grief. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I entertain myself. Ignore me. Grace. Most grievers I talk to, they are not lazy. They are not doing this wrong. They're not sitting around doing nothing. They are trying with all of their might just to survive. Just to survive. I don't even know how to get up and make a cup of coffee. I don't know how to get up and even make a cup of coffee. How am I going to survive? Friends, I want to say this to you, and I love each and every one of you. I have not lost my husband. I don't know what it's like to be a widow. I know what it's like to be a grieving aunt. I know what it's like to be a grieving best friend. I know what it's like to be a grieving daughter, right? Grief is grief is grief. I'm telling you, I'm not comparing because we don't compare it. But I want to share something. There is no doubt in my mind. And as I sit here with all of you beautiful women and you share your amazing stories with me, there's no doubt in my mind. Tony and I have our coffee station in our bedroom. And most mornings, he gets up and makes my coffee. And Tony is 18 years older than I am. I don't know. Up until last year, I always thought that he would go before me. But I can't even imagine what it's like for you ladies to know you don't have anybody to have your morning coffee with. He's not there to make your coffee. That is huge. That's absolutely huge. You're not doing anything. You're trying to survive. And part of that surviving is wondering, how am I going to take the steps that I need to get to that coffee pot, to make that coffee, to sit there and drink it by myself. You've been doing everything you can to hold your life together. And it is shattered 100%. Your heart is absolutely shattered. No doubt. So I know that your heart looks like this. And we're reaching out for help to try to glue this back together. Still they ask, Still, grievers are asking, am I doing this wrong? And my answer to you is no. Do not compare your grief. Where was I at? No comparing. You're not going to compare your grief to your sister's. You're not going to compare your grief to your brother. You're not going to compare your grief to your girlfriend who has also lost her husband. Your sister also lost her dad. Your brother also lost his dad. Your girlfriend lost her husband. You are not going to compare your grief to theirs. You are also not going to compare the grief to your grief. Don't compare your own grief. Well, this wasn't what it was like when I lost dad. This wasn't what it was like when I lost mom. It was easier then. This was a little bit harder. It depends on your relationship. So sometimes what happens to us, why we get to thinking that we're doing the grief wrong, is because we live in a world of compare. You are not doing it wrong. And stop comparing your grief. Stop comparing your grief to that of the grief of others. Am I doing this wrong? This feels so bad. This can't be right. Still, they compare themselves to others and they believe the lie that they should be further along by now. And that's what I want to talk about, the lie. It took me all this time just to get to the lie. And here's the lie, friends. You will be like this for the rest of your life. And I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely not true. Grievers have a path. And I want to tell you this also, because I've been trained by them. There's some high power hitters out there right now. You know their name and you've read their books. And they are absolutely telling you that you will be like this for the rest of your life. And that, my friend, is a lie. And I can prove it to you. The lie is everywhere. This lie is everywhere in our culture, in our support groups, in our quiet messages that we're receiving. It sneaks into our own thoughts at 2 a.m. And this lie is dangerous and it will keep you stuck. It will keep you stuck in a spot that you have no idea how to get beyond. Because it makes you believe that no matter what you do, it won't matter. You're just going to be like this. And that's what throws you onto the couch. That's what throws you onto the couch to try to survive. I'm going to do a commercial real quick. My name is Sharon Brubaker. I'm a grief specialist. I teach an educational program on grief and loss. I walk with women who are broken so they can feel heard, understood, and supported while they are on their unique grief healing journey. I'm doing a live right now. I'm teaching about the lie we've been told. When I'm done teaching TikTok, I will come and answer your questions. I see a lot of you posting in there. So I will hang out in TikTok after this. Thank you for being here, each and every one of you. And I have about 30 more minutes. If I keep going off track, I might be a little longer. Thank you to everyone who's here. Grief will push you to the limits, and that's okay. It's supposed to. It's supposed to push you to these limits. You're supposed to go to the limits that you think you will never make it back from. Because in those limits are thoughts about him. Thank you, Bella Red. In those limits are things that you didn't understand about yourself. In those limits are areas where you need those areas to grieve. You've got to grieve that part. You've got to grieve that part of your relationship with your dad from the 6th grade. Something that happened between you and him and you were in the 6th grade. A part that you never thought you would live past. A part that's so ugly you will not say it out in public. I'm telling you, each and every one of us have stories like that. We all have areas in our life with our relationship with our person that we will never, ever, ever say out loud. And that's where the incompleteness happens. That's where the incompleteness happens. Barbara, no, I'm not a doctor or a therapist. I'm a grief specialist. If you go to the link in my bio, you can find out everything you need to know about me there. I'm a griever. And I've been doing this for 18 years. So you can go there and you can read my bio. Thank you, Barbara. The truth is, grief will push you to the limits of things that you never knew. And that's okay. It's okay if it pushes us to the limits. It has to. I'm telling you right now, I sit with grievers and I'm like, what about this? And they push back against it. They don't want to hear that. Because you're getting pushed to the limits, it isn't a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you love deeply, that you love your person deeply. And the deeper you love, the deeper you grieve. Look, your sister's going to have a different relationship with dad. She was a middle child. They had an argument. He put a lot of pressure on her because she was the middle child. She loves dad. She loves him deeply. But they had a tumultuous relationship. And that is what's going to show up in her grief. Brother was the firstborn. Brother did everything dad asked. They were best friends. They went to Dodger games together. They hung out. They were friends. They did projects together. Sister is jealous of brother's relationship. Sister is jealous of brother's relationship, but she wouldn't tell you that out loud. She'll never tell you that out loud. But it's something that her heart feels. Dad dies, and she's left with this jealous experience. She loves him deeply. Brother loves him deeply. Your girlfriend, who also has lost her husband, was getting ready to get a divorce. She was having an affair. You cannot compare your relationship to hers. She was having an affair. She really was in a tumultuous relationship with her husband. The things that she would never say out loud are coming up in her grief. She never got a chance to ask for the divorce, and he died. Right? We cannot compare these losses because we don't know what they're going through in their relationships. Now, here's you. You lose dad. You lose mom. We cannot even compare those relationships. You and mom are best friends. You go shopping all the time. You talk to each other every day on the phone. And I just said, the deeper you love, the deeper the grief. Your best friend cannot be compared to your relationship of mom. You had conversations with your best friend that you never had with mom or dad. Your nephew cannot be compared. I'm sharing my own story. Your nephew cannot be compared to your relationship with your best friend, relationship with your mom, relationship to your dad. Maybe your relationship with your dad is not that great, and that's the way you're going to grieve. Maybe dad never showed up for you. Maybe dad was never there for you. But Mom was amazing, and she was always there. Sharon is amazing. She's always there. The deeper you love, the deeper you will grieve, period. And the different you will grieve. You will grieve different for each and every one of those people. Suzanne, we're saying it at the same time. We are also different people in each one of those relationships, and we absolutely are. We are different people in each one of those relationships. Our relationship with them is different. And because of that, we have to review that and understand that. But here we go to comparing. We start comparing our grief. Now, we also can't compare when we're the same person, when we've lost the same person. They cannot compare their grief to each other. Here's the thing that they absolutely understand. They absolutely understand that this feels bad. They absolutely understand that their heart is broken. This is a broken heart. You lost your person. You feel pain. All of this is true. You're the griever. You are the griever. You have a broken heart. You lost your person and you feel pain. You feel emotional pain. This is true. But I'm going to tell you what it's not. It's not proof that you are broken. It's not proof that you will never be put back together again. It's only proof that you're the griever. But we take this pain, this part right here, and we say, this feels so bad. I'm broken. I'm never going to get past this. And then that's where we live. We park our butts there, and then that's where we live. This pain is not evidence that you are broken. It is evidence that you cared. It is evidence that you bonded with someone so closely. It is evidence that you connected with something meaningful in your life. It is evidence that someone loved you back. It is evidence that you hated them beyond belief, because we can also grieve someone we hate. We can also grieve someone we have a tumultuous relationship with. And yes, because of that evidence that you love, that you bonded, that they were in your heart, the loss will hurt. The loss will hurt. Barbara, no mental health education, go see a therapist or a pastor or join a grief group. Barbara, you're going to get kicked out. I'm a grief specialist. I've been doing this for 18 years. No therapist. Therapists aren't even taught grief in school. No pastor. I'm telling you right now, and no grief group other than mine, is the only one I know of, is going to give you the information that I'm giving you. I've been doing this for 18 years. I didn't just fall off a turnip truck. So if you want to go, if you're upset, I get it, but please don't put that in my group. Please do not do that. Grievers have broken hearts. They've never been taught how to grieve. They've never been taught how to grieve until now. Yes, you can ask a question, but when I'm done with the training. Of course, you feel like you're cracked open. That's exactly what happens. Look at this. We are cracked open. Our heart is absolutely exposed. Our heart is absolutely exposed. Thank you, Bella Red. Yeah, you just don't know, do you? I don't understand what is wrong with people. What's wrong with people? What is wrong with people? And first of all, this is the other thing. We're here, we're grievers. Our nerves endings have been exposed, and we've got to deal with stuff like this. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. But here's the deal. I owe you all an apology. I owe you all a big apology. Bella Red says, I'm going to pray for Barbara. Me too. I'm going to pray for her too. I haven't been going this deep, and I finally I've been resisting a little bit. I wait until you come into my sessions to tell you this, but now I can't do it anymore because I'm holding you back by not telling you you've got to do the work. I'm holding you back by telling you this, by not telling you this. And I wanted to give you a ton of information and help you, but then I see somebody beautiful like Suzanne who does her work, who comes to a different level, who showed up every single day, in and out, crying, broken. Oh, Suzanne, I hope it's okay. I'm sharing your story. And showed up and did her work. And now she and I are laughing. And bless her heart, her brother passed last week. And I'm walking that journey with her too, live and in the living color as it's happening. She says, you have to go after this and do the work. It changes your life. And here's the other thing. It absolutely changes your life, but you will still have cellulite. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about that. You will still have to go to the grocery store, and you still have to put gas in your car. Those are the 3 things that I hate. If you feel cracked open, but it's just, you feel like every inch of you is exposed. Everyone can see your heart. But you don't know how to cope. You don't know how to get out of bed. You don't know how to show up for work. You don't know how to make a meal. You don't know how to stop crying every 5 minutes. I'm okay with that because that's what grief is. But that's why we come to places like Grief Study Hall, which I do every Tuesday from 1 to 3. That's why we bring those questions in there. That's why we bring the questions in there. And that's why we bring the questions in there so that I can help you answer them. And so we can bring it down. What is study hall but a place to study? Why does this feel like this? Why did I feel like this morning? Why is this hurting so bad? Every effort that you are doing matters, my friend. Every book that you're reading, even if I didn't write it, matters. Everything you're talking about matters. It all matters. I promise you, you're going to come full circle. Every time you're told something that is the truth and you hear the voice of what is right, you know, okay, I did that right. That's okay. I got that part of the healing. Every single time you woke up today and you said, I can't do this today. I'm not doing this today, is okay. It's still an okay day. If you decide you're going to keep busy and not think about your grief, girl, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. But we can't do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. At some point, it's going to bust wide open. And I want to be there for you to help you through. Every time you said, I'm still here. Okay, I can do this again. I can do this again. Your grief will 100% try to convince you that you can't do it. Yes, Patrice, it is absolutely exhausting. Grief tells you that if you're still crying, you're not healing. That is not true. Grief tells you that if you laugh at something, a commercial or something someone said, then you didn't love them enough. That is not true. Your grief will lie to you. Grief will tell you that if you take a day off from the sadness, you're going to forget them. That is not true. Those are all lies that your grief brain is telling you. The truth is that your healing will never be in a straight line. You do not start here and end here. You start here and it looks like this. get here. But what is this journey like in between? How much time does this take? Is this 6 months? Is this 6 years? We're all different. And it's always, always, always based on our relationship. It's also based on our openness. Some days will feel a little easier. Some days will feel impossible. You'll wake up one day thinking you're okay. Oh, okay. Oh man, yeah, I got this. I got it. I'm doing this. That was refreshing. Okay, I got this. And I promise you, by lunch, you'll be a basket case. You even put lipstick on because today was an okay day. You were like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was. I think I can do this. And by lunch, you can't even open your eyes. They're so swollen shut. That's why it feels impossible. Someone just gave me a star. You're not failing. You're grieving. Some people around you, I'm going to change that. I wrote some people around you, but most people around you don't understand. They don't understand your grief. They don't understand why you can't stop crying. They don't understand why you can't keep functioning, why you can't move on. They don't understand. But here's the deal, friends. It's not for them to understand. It doesn't have a thing to do with them. Your grief doesn't have anything to do with them. Your grief only has to do with you. It is not imperative that they understand. It is not imperative that they understand your grief. I will never understand your grief. And here's the other thing. You will never understand mine. You will never understand my grief. You're doing great if all you want to do is scream. You're doing great if all you're doing is screaming. If you are yelling and screaming and hitting the wall, you are doing great. That is part of this. This is June 17th, 2006. That was me. Confused, trying to figure this out. Picking a baby sister off the ground and trying to hold her up. I was doing great that day. And I was confused as hell. People will stop checking in. They will move on. And here's the hard part, my friends. Here's the really hard part. That shit happens fast. When they check out and go back to living, I'm telling you, it happens fast. If you are here and you have one or two friends that have stayed in with you with your grief, consider yourself lucky. If you are 6+ months in and they are still with you, you are lucky. Believe me, most of them will leave at about the 3-week mark or sooner. I'm not exaggerating. That's true. Why? Because they didn't get the book either. They didn't get the book on chapter 6 that says, when your friend is grieving, when your friend Barbara is grieving, you should hang in with her. You should check on her daily, see how she's doing, even if she doesn't need anything. Don't ask Barbara, let me know if you need something. Just do it. If you know the trash day is on Friday and this is your neighbor, go take her trash can out. She's not going to ask you because she's not thinking of the things that she needs. She doesn't know what to ask you for. So just do it if you see it needs to be done. Stop by her house just to see what's going on. Sit with her, have a cup of coffee, just because. They didn't get the book either. So you know what they do? They're like, they write their own book. And their book, they start in chapter 4. Don't say his name, because if you say his name, you're going to make her cry. Don't talk about the grief when you show up. You don't want her to cry. Your job is to make her feel strong. Make her forget this even happened. So your job is to pretend like everything is okay. So talk about the Dodgers. Talk about the weather. Do whatever you can. And if she brings it up, by all means, change the subject. So they're in this own book. So most of us are really navigating this and doing it on our own. And then the next thing happens. The isolation sets in and makes you believe that you're struggling so hard that you're not going to get past it. But I promise you, friends, you're not alone. You are not alone. You're not the only one who cries in their car. You're not the only one that dreads bedtime because you got to get in that bed by yourself. You're not the only one who stares off and is really quiet and has that long stare. You're not the only one that's having those memories and wondering, is this really real? You're not the only one that has the thought in their mind, I'm never going to see him again. I'm never going to see him again. I can't believe I'm never going to see him again. There are thousands of people right now doing the very best that they can with their grief, just like you. And that's why I created something I want to share with you today, and that's the Facebook group. I have a Facebook group called the Grief School. And in the Grief School Facebook group, I put out questions every day, and I'm building the community where you guys can come together. If you haven't done so yet, please follow me there. There, my lives are recorded and they stay in the Facebook group. If you haven't followed me on the podcast, it's Healing Starts with the Heart. I've been doing the podcast with Erica since 2018. It's a great place to go and get other podcasts. Bella Red was just in here, and she said she was on the YouTube channel, and she watched some of the YouTube's videos, and the one on enshrinement was amazing. I created the Grief School because we needed a place to land. For most of us, we're like this. We're walking around with our grief, and we don't know where to put it. We don't know where to set it down. We're just holding it like it's this thing that we don't know where to put. So I created the Grief School for that, because I want you to lay it here. So you can do it in Grief Study Hall. You can join the Facebook group, and you can join me on the lives. I'm live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I'm teaching you what grief is. I'm telling you the truth. We are all on a mission to change the way that people grieve. We've got to change this grief. We need a place to lay our grief. We need a place to share our grief. A place where your efforts can be seen, not judged, not compared. A place where you can talk openly. A place where you can talk about how bad this is. A place where so slow, snail-moving progress is still progress. Girl, if you just show up for the lives, that's a victory. If you just answer one of the questions that I put in the Facebook group daily, that's a victory. If you made another friend in this group, that's a victory. Inside this group, we find women who get it. And inside this group, we have a lot of Barbaras. We are women who are just doing our best, who are trying to learn how to breathe again, even though it's one breath at a time. Even though it's one breath at a time. You don't grieve like anyone else. You are not grieving like anyone else. You're grieving like yourself. You don't need to measure up to anybody to show your progress. You don't need to be on someone else's timeline. Like when they tell you to move on, Hey, girl, you need to move on. You need to be doing better. Remember, that came in their book in chapter 4. You don't need to perform your grief. You don't need to cry in front of someone just to show them that you're absolutely broken. You're broken every single day. I know that. I see you. I am you. You don't need to perform just to feel comfortable around people, meaning not crying at all and pretending to be okay. That is not your job. Hey, Sharon, I see you. You just need to be honest. You need to keep going. I know you didn't want to hear that. You need to trust that you're doing this right, even when it feels like you're not. Even with what you're trusting is small, even though you're scared. Healing is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Showing up for yourself, showing up for your life in whatever way you can today. Showing up for your person, talking about your person. And if all you did today was survive and you never even got dressed, if all you did was survive and you never even got dressed, and eventually at some point you made it to the coffee pot and you made that cup of coffee, high five, girl. You did it. You survived another day. You survived another day in grief hell. Who says that you aren't doing it right? Who is there to judge you? Try not to rush yourself. Don't let the pressure of someone else's timeline rob you of peace, rob you of your spot on this grieving journey, rob you of the pace that you're going at. Don't let that lie that you should be better right now silence your grief. You are doing the best that you can. And that's exactly where you're supposed to be for today. All right, friends. I want to say thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. I'm going to hang out in TikTok for a little bit longer. But I have some information. Okay. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to come on at 8 a.m. in TikTok for an hour live. And then I'm going to go live in the other social medias at 9 a.m. talking about Father's Day. I'm going to be opening up with how to talk to your kids about grief, because that's going to lead me into, and Bella Red actually gave me that idea. That's going to lead me into the next part, which is how to do this Father's Day, have some ideas, but that's where I'm going to start tomorrow. So if you're having children in your home that you're struggling with grief, it's a great place to come for that. Time zone is Central Standard Time. Oh, yeah, I should put that. That's tomorrow morning. Friends, also, if you go to the link in my bio, if you go join the Facebook group, Erica, tomorrow night, Erica's my sister. Erica is the son of Austin, the mother of Austin and Donovan, my nephews who died. Her book just was released, and she's going to be doing a question and answer session tomorrow on her Facebook page at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. I understand she's got a lot of questions already because she requested questions to be answered them live, but she will take questions live as well. You guys, I will not be attending that, but you can definitely attend that. I think if you're a mom who's lost a child, you should go to that. If you're a daughter who's lost a mother, you should go to that. If you're a mother who's lost a father and is struggling with Father's Day, you should go to that. She is absolutely amazing. She tells a different story than I do. She tells a different grief story. It will be recorded in her group page, her Facebook page. So it will be recorded. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'll remind you guys again tomorrow morning. And what's her Facebook page? You got to go here to the link in my bio. I think it's just her name, Erica Honore. I think it's just her name. And hers is at 6. She's an amazing little sister. We talked yesterday for a long time about how the book sales are going and all that. If you want to listen to the podcast, it's Healing Starts with the Heart. If you go back to the beginning of the podcast, there you will get her story. She tells her story at the beginning of the podcast. Is probably around 2018. Suzanne says her book is so, so good. Love it. Okay. Next week, I will be live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Tuesday at 10 a.m. Wednesday at 11 a.m. Thursday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Follow me here on TikTok or follow me in the Facebook group. Every Tuesday, we do Grief Study Hall from 1 to 3. Every Tuesday, we do Grief Study Hall from 1 to 3. Study Hall is a place where you come in, where I actually get to see you face to face, should you choose. It is a drop-in, drop-out group. You can come in for a little while. You can leave. You can stay there. It's where I answer questions. I also teach a lesson in there. This Tuesday, I just happen to know the answer because a question was asked at the last minute. Why do we have to say death or died? That's what I'm teaching this Tuesday in that group. I will also teach that in the live, one of these lives that week. The reason I don't know which one is because I haven't written it yet. That's Grief Study Hall. The most amazing thing is Thursday night. Thursday night is where you can find me in the VIP group. We have a VIP group called Honor Society. Everyone who has been through processing the pain of grief can come into Honor Society. You have lifetime access to Honor Society. Processing the Pain of Grief is a program that I put together. It's a 4-week self-taught, self-guided video program where I break down how to process the pain of grief, why your heart is broken, why you feel this way, why you have to cry. My page is the Grief School. Why? All the whys, right? So you can watch the videos. It comes with an amazing book that you can print off. It has a journal in it. But what I do in Grief in Honor Society is I take every lesson that I've taught in there and I break it down inch by inch, piece by piece. The last 3 weeks, we've been doing the 3 C's, right? The 3 C's that are so important for the griever. Communication, we did Thursday night. Communication, we just broke down communication. How to communicate for you to communicate as a griever. You have to be honest. You can't wait for people to come up and ask you how you're doing in your grief and just say, oh, I'm fine. I feel really bad, but that's okay. That's not your truth. We talked about telling your truth. This Thursday, oh, guys, I forgot. I haven't sent you the email, but I will. This Thursday, we talked about having a line that you can give to every person that's asking you about your grief. So, for example, when Bob at the office comes up and says, hey, Sharon, I haven't seen you since your husband died. How's it going? What is going to be your response? I want you guys having a set response. This is the hardest thing I've ever done, but I'm working on it. I didn't know this was going to be so bad, but I'm working through it. What's your response that you're going to have to every person that asks you about your grief? I break that down for you. That's Honor Society. It's also in Zoom. And you have to have processing the pain of grief in order to get there. Okay. 2 amazing things are coming up that I want to tell you about. On June 22nd, I'm going to open the portal to the emotional reset. I haven't launched it yet. I'm launching it this week. The emotional reset is where I sit with you and I absolutely talk about the emotions of grief. What are grief emotions? Where do you feel them in your body? Why do you feel them in your body? Why do you feel these emotions in your body right now? It's a 3-day seminar. It's a 3-day seminar. And it is packed full of learning about emotions. Why? We came here with the ability to process our emotions. We already came here with an ability to do it. But over time, these emotions and processing them have been taken from us. And that's where I start. So we start right there and we go into the emotions. And for 3 days, I want to talk about emotions. I want to break down emotions. I want to talk about what they are, where you see them, where you feel them. Hold on. I have created, based on one of my trainings that I'm certified in, is a grief emotional system. And I'm going to be teaching this, the grieving emotions. Why they feel so bad. Why are we resisting emotions? So I'm going to teach that in the emotional reset. I'm going to help you reset your emotions for yourself so that you can use these emotions to help you navigate this grieving process. I'm going to open that portal on June 22nd. I'm going to be launching that next week, but I wanted to give you guys a heads up about that. Okay, I have some really great news. Suzanne said, that chart, yours is probably covered in tears, I can imagine. Mine should be too. It will be. It always is. I confirmed with Erica that she will be attending the Grief Intensive Weekend in July. We worked through a lot of that yesterday. That's also coming up. I'll be talking a lot about that in the emotional reset, but keep an eye out for the Grief Intensive, which will be here in Dallas, July 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. 28th will be on Zoom, will be a check-in. It is absolutely going to be amazing. It is a grief retreat weekend where we get you to come to us in person. Erica's going to be teaching some amazing intensive parts of that. She's going to be sharing her grief experience. She's going to be sharing what it was like laying on the bathroom floor, crying it out, and all of the things that she did to help move the grief along. Grief intensive weekends this year are set for July. They are set for July, September, and November. We have 3 coming up this year. So hear me out. It is not a retreat. Bella Red said, oh, a retreat? Sign me up. It is not a retreat. I'm not going to be offering massage. We're not going to have sound bowls. We're not going to be learning how to folk dance. I don't know what you do at retreats. We're going to be crying. We're going to be doing some work. We're going to be digging down deep into this grief. It is in a grief intensive weekend, and it is designed that way. And it is the creme de la creme. And I'm so excited to tell you guys that Erica's going to be there. So be looking for that news as well. Okay, friends, I want to leave you with this. My heart breaks for each and every one of you. My heart breaks because we have been sold a bill of goods in this world that's completely unfair to us. We've been told we're going to be like this for the rest of our lives, and that is absolutely not true. And I show up here day in and day out because we've got to change the way we're doing this. We've got to change the way the world is approaching grief. We've got to change the way we talk about it. And this is only the beginning. So I love each and every one of you. Hold on one second. I want to see if there's some questions here. Joe Ron said, my dad died by suicide. Never discussed. She said the shame. My heart to yours, my friend. Julie says, I am proof that you won't be that way forever. Julie's a past client. I thought the same way myself at one point. What an amazing, amazing woman. Julie, you got to do a a podcast with me so you can share your story. Paula says, good morning. Paula's the beautiful mom of Austin. She teaches a lot about her relationship with her son, Austin. Sharon, thank you so much for being a guide in this shit. Yes, we're down in the shit trying to figure it out. Okay, my friends, I'm honored that each and every one of you are here. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. TikTok Hangout. I'll be right there.